So this is gonna be complicated. You know, I'm gonna do something that I have never done before. Great chips. I'm gonna tune my car. And I have no clue how to do it. And I have no knowledge. You're in for a ride. Despite that I didn't have a Miami blue Porsche, I was actually at the Swedish post office this morning. I picked up this. It is a tuning box from a company called KCR. You will find these tuning boxes all around the world with different brands. And I'm gonna check it out. I've actually paid for it myself. Ta-da! And I'm gonna unwrap it to see what's inside first. Is it actually fun to see someone unboxing a software or a product or whatever? Apparently it's a trend in YouTube to do a lot of unboxing videos. If you never want me to do that again, please let me know in the comments below. And if you are not already, please subscribe to my channel. So let's unbox this. Unboxing done. So here are everything. I think this is the main part. This is the box where all the magic and tuning happens. So yeah, this is it. Here is some connection points and perhaps most important, how to mount this. So I'm gonna read this very carefully and make sure that I understand all bits and parts of it. And continue in the garage. But first, I'm gonna tell you all about how this experiment is gonna be played. So let's start with a performance test of the non-modified 118D. I'm just gonna do a sprint from 0 to 100 with all my thoughts and lack of knowledge on going 0 to 100, and I'm gonna measure it with this app. So the app will clock me from 0 to 100. I'm going to perform the test 3 times, and then I'm going to take the best value. Okay, let's do the first comprehensive test of the amateur driver 0 to 100 original. A little bit of build spin. Yeah, second gear, 5,000 revs. Come on, car, come on. Yes, come on. This is not the fastest car I've been driven this year, but so far so good, and I think we are done. So, oh yeah, you know, this is a driver's car, but it is not a dragster. Let's be clear on that, please. But don't worry, we're not going to use my lack of knowledge when it comes to driving determine if the tuning box is the right way to go. Now, I hired this company to actually measure the performance of the car before and after I mount the tuning box.
About to leave, already packing, come with me, I'm not really asking, we'll get away to a place where we don't know.
So I have entered JRM Racing finally. So I'm standing here with the owner, Joachim. So what are we going to do here today, Joachim?
We're going to run your BMW 118 diesel here in our dyno.
And then actually guys, I am going to mount the KCR box in the car. Obviously some supervising from Joachim to make sure everything is done properly. And then we're going to measure it again?
Yes, correct.
So what can we say about the measurement equipment?
It's a VTEC dyno, and it's a very accurate piece of equipment actually.
And you have used it many times before, I presume?
Yes, I would say thousands of cars has been in this dyno.
So we have a lot of experience of measuring.
Yes, the measurement would be very, very precise, I would say.
And we are using some normalization curves as well to...
Yes, Dean curve we will use, just like the manufacturers.
Perfect. So should we go to the garage and start to work?
Let's go.
Not looking back, eyes on the freeway, Bonnie and Clyde, a classic cliche, we're on the run, this is what we waited for. Take my hand, we'll make it somehow, we can't miss now. I'm done living life with the lights, I'm done with my own doubts.
Now it's actually time for me, myself, to tune my own car. That's one thing that I think is absolutely astonishing with the tuning boxes, is that you can tune your car by yourself. The instruction that comes with this package is very straightforward and also very informative. So it's straightforward, as I said. Just lift the lid, and on top here you have some isolating protecting surface for the common rail. You simply just remove the contact from the common rail, replace this with the one that actually fits from the cable that comes with the package. The cable that removed you put in the other end, and then you put this cable that comes with the package through. And I have actually protected it underneath here to make sure it gets as much protecting as possible. Let's test this box to see what it has given me in terms of horsepower, Newton meter, etc. I'm so excited! Yes! Let's rock and roll. Let's put this back in the car. Everything is ready. The box is in. The instructions are done. We are going for a journey, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, so we have measured the car, and actually we ran into the first problem. It is actually that it delivers less power than it actually says on the internet. But according to the instructions, is that I actually can tune up the effect myself by doing some setting in the tuning box. According to the instruction, I'm not sure if you can see that. Let's see if we can get that in focus. I am now going to adjust the box with this adjustment point here. So let's take a time out and go into the studio and have a look at the number. Before I start, there is one extremely important fact that all of you need to know. My car has done 158,000 kilometers, so it's not a new car. So if you want the maximum out of your tuning, I recommend you to have a new car or renovate the engine before tuning. But if we look at the stock values first, I think BMW impresses me. I have lost 6 horsepower from the original 143 down to the 137. I have also lost 6 Newton meters to 314. Then I have mounted the KCR box and also tuned it accordingly, and the best value I got was about 160 horsepower. That is actually 10 horsepower less than what they claim on the webpage, but please remember that I have already lost 6 horsepower from the stock values. Then looking at the torque values, KCR claims 380 Newton meters on the webpage, and we are only getting out 363. Again, that's 17 less, and 6 of them were lost from the stock values. But it's not the numbers I'm having issue with the KCR box. As you can see here, I have dismounted the KCR box. No, the problem I'm having with this box is actually when I read the details in the warranty, etc. Because if you get water inside the box or humidity, the warranty is not valid. And you're not even allowed to put a plastic bag around it. And if you're as old as I am and experienced the computers from the 90s, you know that these ports are not the solid one on the market. Now, I think the development of this box is at a very low level, and it is not accordingly to the task accordingly to me. Because I think if you sell a product that is to be mounted in an engine room, it needs to be bulletproof from water, like a watch. And it doesn't stop there either, because if you then start to read more about tuning boxes, some people claims, not validated from myself in this experiment, is that the original ECU actually understands that you try to fool it and correcting the values accordingly back to the stock values. So you are in for a risk if you select the tuning box. So I'm back to zero again, thinking now, how should I tune my car? And then if you continue to read on the forums and internets, you'll find out that there is companies that actually are reprogramming the original ECU box. And I found a company in Stockholm called Tuning Ship, and they were up for the task to tune my car. So let's go over to Tuning Car and do a second shot of tuning my car. So I have arrived to Tuning Ship in central of Stockholm. And with me I have Darius. Hi Darius.
Hi Janko.
So you're the one that actually is going to tune my car today.
That's correct.
So what are we going to do here today?
Today you are going to read your original stock file, and then we are analyze all maps that are necessary for the engine's controlling, and we individually adjust them so we maximum the power and the efficiency at the same time.
Perfect. So if I understand this correctly, we're not going to manipulate something before the original ECU. We are actually going inside the ECU and we're going to make all changes directly into the car. Have I understood it correctly?
Yes, that's correct. The engine is controlled by an electronic control unit, and every moment the engine do is controlled by the program. So we need to localize all necessary maps, and then we write it back and
and then we have done the tuning.
Yes.
Let's just do what you want to. Please don't be polite, cause I like your attitude. Let's forget about a curfew, cause all that is stuck in my head. It's me and you, pulse speed and my heart is racing, but I'm not sure I wanna face it, cause it only does this with you. Our bodies meet, I can feel the tension, move us into the next dimension. Let's just let our bodies be true.
Definitely more power.
We make out for the thrill of it, mess around for the thrill of it. Don't stop now, never let this end. For the
Tuning an old car needs to be handled with respect. The hardware in my car has seen its best days. The performance curve was pointing at 190 plus horsepower, but my car could not handle it. The service tuning chip provided was at top level. With a blink of an eye, without discussion, they took their responsibility and reprogrammed my ECU matching the health status of my car. We ended up with 172.5 horsepower and 387 Nm of torque, and I believe that is the maximum my car are able to handle with more than 158,000 km of history. Then let's take a look at all numbers together. All numbers are to the benefit for Tuning Ship, and that is easy to explain. KCR is a non-waterproof, one-fit-all solution taking no consideration of your vehicle status. They simply fools the original UCR and lift the performance curve. Tuning Chip is using a different process. reprogram the ECU, changing the character of the engine, in my case accordingly to this vehicle status. So let me try to summarize this. Why did I make the experiment in the first place? Well, it's simple. More or less all car manufacturers are downgrading their engine and adding a turbo. That gives a great opportunity to tune your vehicle. I thought the tuning box was a great solution, and in some terms it actually is good, because it does what it states to do. The loss of horsepower in this are very, very thin, and I think what they say on the web page is correct. But this is, accordingly to me and nobody else, a low quality product. And it actually, they say it themselves in the paper that comes with it. It actually says, warning, do not place the box in a plastic bag and do not mount it in a damp condition. And the instructions say mount it in the engine room. Silly. Please remember that this cheap solution is pretty much half the price of tuning your ECU box. But if you tune your ECU box, you will get a much more accurate tuning towards your engine. And my recommendation is also to do it in combination with a roller, so you know the exact results that you are doing. But this one is going to the trash.